You often hear that some people have earned a lot in cryptocurrency market. It seemed easy to follow their examples. Simply registering on an exchange and buying some kind of meme coins, it skyrockets and you become rich. However, the difficulty lies in the fact that it's important to approach your investment wisely. You need to select the right tokens, choose the project at which major funds have invested, know the price at which they have invested, and mentally be prepared to wait for your gains. Today I'll tell you what I expect from the Bitcoin and altcoins. We will talk about how big companies like Tesla and BlackRock may lie to us. We will explore whether Bitcoin will reach to $100,000. And finally, why right now might be the last chance for you to make a huge profit. In the end of this video, you will understand what this rocket all about. Let's take a look and see what's happening now. So here Bitcoin has risen to about $73,000. Yes, it has reached the new all-time highs, and this is a certainly good sign. Nobody can know what's the exact value of Bitcoin will be in the future for sure. But what we do know today is that Bitcoin is trading at $61,000. And it has been trading in 60 and 70,000 range for a while now. Interesting thing here, somehow it's not growing. Why? After the all halving has happened and the approval of spot Bitcoin ETF, which took place in January 2024, all positive events have already happened, but it's not growing. Why? Maybe for the same reason it didn't happen in 2021, even though they were printing dollars in huge quantities. Tesla at the beginning of 2021 officially announced it in its report that they bought Bitcoin, and Elon Musk hinted that people should buy it too, saying yes guys, buy it. And everyone who bought back then lost their money. But there is really nothing to be surprised about. Look at the Bitcoin. We have been stuck around this level on weekly chart for last 3 months. In March, April and May, at least 3 months, we've been trading about 60 but not about $100,000. Personally, I think enough fundamental events have already happened, such as halving and the approval of spot Bitcoin ETF. After all this, Bitcoin have to soar already somewhere higher. Also, could it be that at this all-time highs, some big funds, even BlackRock itself, are buying Bitcoin? Could it be that BlackRock, the largest investment funds, missed this opportunity and didn't act on it earlier? Or maybe they did it anyway, when all major companies including BlackRock were criticizing Bitcoin in back 2018. Maybe they were lying and buying. Now they are lying again, but this time saying they are entering the market. Maybe they are fooling us now. Who are we waiting for? Who they want to trap on this train? Another thing today is those who believe Bitcoin will rise $100,000 and beyond, understanding that there are quite a few fundamental events for the asset to grow, should remember 2021. There were no fewer positive events back then. Moreover, public figures and the companies were also actively expressing their support to Bitcoin. It's just like today, but today the level of this news is higher. If back then it was Tesla, today it's BlackRock. Are they waiting for everyone who missed the boat to let them get rich? I'm very skeptical about this. Those who believe Bitcoin will reach $100,000 or even $1 million could of course be right. None of us know exactly what will happen with the Bitcoin or what its price will be in the future. We can only make assumptions and decisions. Each of you, even if you hear my opinion, you should still do your own research and make your own decision. Let's talk about Bitcoin's dominance. Long time ago, when there were hardly any altcoins, Bitcoin's dominance was 100% of market. Of course, there were no other assets. Then over time, other assets started to appear, and at one point Bitcoin's dominance dropped as low as 35%. In the other world, Bitcoin's share was 35%, while 65% was taken by altcoins. It's important to note that at this time in 2017 and 2018, altcoins were indeed appearing, but they weren't as many as they are today, and they weren't as ambitious. Among the most ambitious at that time were Ripple, which appeared in 2014, and the Ethereum. Today we see huge number of established cryptocurrency projects such as Near Protocol, Solana and Avalanche. These blockchain projects have market capitalization far exceeding 100 million or $10 million, as was common back then. Today the capitalization of the altcoins at their initial listing often start at minimum at $1 billion. Let's remember the layer 2 solutions and those projects that gave out airdrop through testnets like Starknet, Arbitrum, Optimisms and others. Almost all of them start with capitalization of $1 billion. Back in 2017, it was hard to imagine the emergence of projects with such capitalization. Despite this, there were far fewer of them. yet they reduced Bitcoin's dominance. Today there are far more altcoins. Their capitalization is not small, and it's much easier for them to grow compared to back then, because there are many more of them and they are not small. Yes, Bitcoin's market capitalization has also increased, no doubt. But in my opinion, Bitcoin's dominance will decrease soon in the future. I'm convinced that cryptocurrency market will continue to grow for sure. For this, what I would bet on? I would bet on altcoins. Let's now look at the altcoins. For example, Atom and other similar coins have been in accumulation phase for the last year and a half. Just like before in 2019 and 2020, the $2 and $5 zones was an accumulation phase, after which the asset shot up. Essentially nothing has changed. Its ecosystem also continues to progress today. However, an accumulation zone is indeed forming, and this prolonged accumulation zone is appearing in almost all altcoins. Notice that the asset has been in accumulation for a year and a half. If we expect to see altcoins grow, then during this time, major players have been accumulating the assets. Now, having left the accumulation zone, they are unlikely to return for those who missed out. More likely, they will push the price much higher, and after a correction at some local highs around $50 or $60, the latecomers might start buying Atom, gladly buying it during a correction from $100, for example down to $60 or $50. This is where liquidity for altcoins will be huge, and major players will sell their position much higher. Given that they have a large volumes, they will need to find liquidity as much as possible and distribute it over a long period. For this, they will need some time. So based on this, can they be an alt season? Considering the all points I mentioned above, I think yes. In this case, we may actually see historical lows in Bitcoin's dominance. If this happens, the growth of altcoins might not be just 2-3 times, but they could go up by multiples. I believe in 5 and 10x return, even more on major projects. The question is, when will this happen? Now or after another slight drop on Bitcoin dominance? It's a bit trickier to predict. I'm not talking about the specific dates. I'm just talking about my assumptions and stating that I'm betting on alt season coming soon. Now let's return to the altcoins and discuss them. Look at what Bitcoin has been doing. Notice, Bitcoin recently dropped from the $71,000 to $60, and then after a while updated its minimum, went down to 57. So we have a 2 lows, 2 dip that have been updated. Now let's look at the altcoins. Atom, for instance, dropped to around $7 but didn't go lower. And this is not the brightest example. Polkadot also didn't update its low, and more upward trend is emerging here, as it's for Atom. ICP has also not updated its lows. Immutable X has also not updated. Optimism, take a look, went to 1.80 cents, and the last time it only dropped to 2.25 cents. It's also in upward channel. Arbitrum, 85 cents, upward channel. Aptos, the same thing, and so on. In my personal opinion, altcoins today seems to be in a phase of accumulation or poised for potential breakout before rising. Will this happen? Will altcoins grow? I can only say that I'm currently betting on alt season. It seems like the perfect time with the Bitcoin showing the promise after the halving and the approval of spot Bitcoin ETF continuing to trade about $60,000 as we discussed. During this time, altcoins could potentially start to rise. They might not only rise, but also provide substantial returns, 5x, 10x, 15x, or even more on some altcoins. I don't buy Bitcoin because I'm unsure how to profit from an asset that's already at all-time highs. Altcoins, on the other hand, could provide significant profit. But with Bitcoin, 20% or 30% return doesn't interest me. When you risk $100, you shouldn't expect take profit just at $30. The risk-reward ratio in this case should be at least 1 to 3. You might lose $100, but you can also earn $300, $500, or even $1,000. In cryptocurrency market, this is perfectly normal risk-reward ratio, because cryptocurrency market in general is very risky. Now let's see how I will act during the next rally. When altcoins rise by 2x or 3x, I likely won't withdraw my initial investment and will act more aggressively. Why? Because we have been using this accumulation phase to increase the number of coins in our portfolio. I believe that accumulation has most likely taken place, and the next rally won't just be a bounce but could possibly be an alt season. For example, I wouldn't be surprised to see the assets like Atom rise to $60 or $100 or more. With DOT, we might reach previous highs or even surpass them. All of this will likely happen, even if it's hard to believe. In my opinion, we might see alt season in the next couple of months. June, July could bring potential profits, possibly in the multiples. I would really like to believe that. At least that's what I'm betting on. If you want to know which altcoins could soar and bring you huge profit, check the top 5 altcoins video in my channel. Thanks for watching and upgrade your mind.